So with Tom Wade, we've been talking about the 2014-15 FA Cup run. We've been through each game, Tom, and a lot of the background and the after effects of the games and the run itself. This means you're a Blythe Spartans manager who's got the third round of the FA Cup. So you're in amongst the ranks of Brian Slane, Harry Dunn.
Yeah.
You know, you're up there. Do you see yourself as that kind of Blythe legend?
No, I don't actually. Harry Dunn is a legend. You know, Sir Harry Dunn, as we call him, for supporters. But Brian Slane, obviously my hero, and I remember scoring 7 against Shildon.
It was Shildon.
I think we won 9 something, and he scored 7. And I remember sitting on a fence. I was only a young kid. I was sitting on the fence watching.
Probably saw you. Yeah.
I was young. I don't think I've ever been young, but I was young. And the last goals he scored were at the top end, Kingsway end. I remember the day now.
Yeah.
And he come and shook my hand, shook my hand, and that after every goal he scored. Because there was big crowds here. The Syndex track.
You were picked out by Slaney for greatness.
And he probably never remembers that. But
that's what I've seen.
But it was the last. I think it was a hat-trick. The last couple of goals, maybe 3 goals, shook my hand, and that lived with me forever.
Yeah.
And it was.
Well, it's got to show the power of the game and your side and you.
They were legends. There was, you know, I mean, look at it. Them days, you know, I'm not talking about pre-war or anything, but I'm talking about the olden days. They were legends, you know. There were people you saw around the town. There was people you saw when you were at work, and people, you know, when I got older, I used to be on sites where the older was a painter. Johnny Evans was a painter, and I used to see them when I was, you know, another legend, unbelievable player, by the way. So you've got that era where it lives you for life.
But you see, there'll be some young people from the couple we've been talking about, Tom, that have had a very similar experience. So you have left your mark, and the players have left their mark with the new generation, who will remember that.
You've got Rivers with his funny haircut.
That was remarked on by Shearer in the dressing room, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got. I don't know if it's a mullet. I don't know.
It was a Barnet.
Barnet, all right. But he was like a boy band sort of cult for him, because he's a good-looking lad, lovely haircut, lovely hair, but what a footballer. And he had his own little group, and they all had, you know, Robbie Dale, legend. They were all legends in their own right, you know. Even Wade, he had people that respect and loved them, and they're all, you know. I remember when they first started to give autographs. I was walking out with our Matty and Twinny, and there was 3 or 4 young kids can have the autograph, and they looked at me and thought, and I was thinking, what the hell's going on? And it was like, oh aye, and they didn't. I think Twinny had been practicing his, but really didn't have an autograph. And he says, well, I should just sign your name. And that was the first recognitions of you're in a proper place, you know. You are good players. So you're right, to be mentioned in the same breath as them is pretty humbling for me, because I'm just a Blythe lad who's been very lucky in football, been in the right place at the right time, took jobs on when nobody would take them on, when John Charlton left and had no players,
Spartans,
when they had nothing, no money, no players.
No players, yeah.
And then other times when Mick Tate left, and I helped out there, and just being the right time, the right. Now I don't class myself as any better than anybody else, but I loved the club, and the club was in my blood from when I was a young kid, and it always will be there. And I just wanted to give everything I possibly could for the club, and it wasn't about myself or wanting to be anything special. That's why it's, when you mention even Harry Dunn, Brian Slane, you know, they are proper legends. And anywhere near that is. I
don't know. Legendary status comes from a lot of it comes from years. You know, only 10 years down the line from this cup run. You know, whereas the other ones are 6 or 7 years before your cup run, as it were, and then Slane's way back further.
I still get embarrassed when people come and speak to us who I don't know. I was telling you the story about Dixon's pie shop when it's just opened there in Blythe, and I couldn't get out.
Yeah, so you went in on the seafront?
I went in. I went in because the Dixon's Pie Shop's just opened, and obviously you can see by my physique I like a pie now and then. But obviously Blythe's not doing great at the minute, and I stopped by, the shop's only tiny, and it took us about an hour to get out because there was supporters coming up, proper supporter. I mean, season ticket holders, been season ticket for years and years and years, asking what's happening with the club, asking what's going on, and really just a cry for help because I cannot speak to anybody else. The club aren't speaking to people at the minute, and because I've been manager, you just want to, you give them time to vent what they want to say, you know. Mm-hmm. And even though I've got nothing to do with the club, I just feel it's up to me to, if somebody comes to speak to you, you've got to give them respect, you know. And it took us an hour to get out. But I just felt you feel very sad because of what we did, and not me, you know. Management is about a team. Colin Myers, John Buttonshine, Bev, Chris Bell came in, you know, all these people that's got something to do with the club. Lee Picton came in and made the club. Lee Picton took it to another level football-wise, but just being, you're behind it in the club and you give some of your life to the club, so it's something special. And what we did, not just in the FA Cup but all the way through the league, we put the town on the map, put the club on the map, and I left the club in a position where we were always going to win the league that season. And we passed the reins on Alan Armstrong. That's how I was going to win that league, and I knew when I left that it was the right time to pass the baton on. And that club should have been in the conference. Yeah, we should be in the conference now. So everything we did then, it's still very fresh in my mind what we did, and there's always little different things come up what happened. But we used to have, you know, things like we used to bring the supporters in the change room before the game. So after 1:45 was our time. And even before the 1:15 we used to bring supporters and kids in, photographs of players, signed shirts, whatever they wanted. It was always open.
I remember there was a classic case of what you're saying away. Was it Colwyn Bay? Chris Allison?
Oh, yeah.
Chris Allison of
the
famous Spartans doing a team talk in there?
Yeah, we had the famous...
That was
the best team talk ever. It's like a Heineken advert. It's like Heineken should have actually taped that for the advert. So before the game, I spoke to the Celtic lads, and Jovely said, "Can Chris come and do a team talk?" And I said, "Oh yeah, no problem." Honestly, "Oh yeah, no problem." And I'm thinking, well, I just said. But again, it always, because football, sometimes the build-up of the games becomes mundane and it becomes stereotypical, and you need to take the game away from the players at times. You cannot be focused on the game from getting on the bus, chopping the Colwyn Bay, getting the change rooms, and just game. You cannot be game focused all the way through. These kids cannot do it. So if anybody gets a chance to look at it, I'm sure it's on YouTube. But Chris come in, and before he come in, he says to me, "What have I seen?" And I says, "Just give it from the heart." And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Goes round to each player, doesn't it?
He went through each player. And it was, you know, Bev, the physio, had nicknames for every player. And he was brilliant because the players loved him, trusted him. But he was just like a breath of fresh air, and he took all the pressure off the players. Yeah. Chris coming in was absolutely brilliant, and it's on video. And if anyone gets a chance to see it, have a look at it. Definitely. But that was what we were all about. We wanted to do everything for the supporters, and it was important that we give something back every time we could. And it was and we went up with 3-1. Michael Richardson scored, I'm sure, and it was one of Michael's first games. I don't know what he was thinking because he had just come from Newcastle United. Yeah. And he come into that. I'm sure it was one of his first games, and he must have thought, "What the hell is going on?" But it was unique things in a football club stopped me for life, and that was one of the unique things. And he was pretty emotional afterward, Chris. they're proper people, like.
Yeah.
They are proper people, proper supporters. I love it there.
I think we've been through a series of chats about the cup run, going through each game, and just to conclude on that sort of high note probably, but you mentioned the word trust there in relation to the player. You mentioned between Chris and the players the word trust, and I think that's been a hallmark of all our conversations where, you know, the players in that squad team have always trusted each other. They trusted you, the management trusted each other as well, and on the media side also true, and that's what built that sort of camaraderie, which has brought that huge success of that cup.
I remember going to the Licence Tuesday game when we played Newcastle United, we beat 7-2 against Newcastle. Bobby Hopps was manager, 1999.
Yeah, I was sitting next to him in the stand.
David McMahon scored 4 and at the end of Taylor Blythe.
Yes, he did.
So I was upstairs and it was Tom Headley, legend Tom Headley, chairman. And when you had a section, it wasn't the boardroom of it is now. It was,
it was half the size.
Half the size.
Yeah.
And I was upstairs. Jack Charlton, John Charlton was manager. Jack Charlton was upstairs with, I keep forgetting this guy's name, but there was a guy there who was first team coach for Bobby Hopps, and Bobby come up. So Bobby says, "Look, is it can I have a cup of coffee?" There was only 4 in. Tom Headley was behind the bar. I started round the bar. There was me. Tom and his wife was there. So there was me, Jack Charlton, this guy I've forgotten his name, Bobby Hopps, and I said, "I'll make you a cup of coffee." He was waiting for his chauffeur.
Right.
Mick Wadsworth. Mick Wadsworth? No, not Mick Wadsworth. I'm not. He was waiting for his chauffeur anyway. So I made him a cup of coffee, took the coffee across, and I sat in the corner, and I wasn't part of Blythe at the time. I was doing my badges, and I was just like watching games and doing notes. Graham Clark was the coach, who was an unbelievable coach, fantastic, like miles ahead of his time. And I used to just write notes about Clark, what he did, how he did things. He'd sit in the stand and write notes. And I was part of the club as such, but not officially. And Bobby, Jack said, "Come across, have a sit with us, man," because there was nobody else there. So I sat with him. Mick Wadsworth, definitely Mick Wadsworth. And he was sitting there. Mick Wadsworth was manager of Gretna when we got Nicky Debricks at better than I was talking about before. So anyway, sat there. So I've got a World Cup manager, an England manager, both legends. We talk about legends.
Talk about legends, yeah. That's a couple of letters.
Mick Wadsworth, who was noted to be one of the best coaches not around, like miles ahead of his time. And I was sitting there just listening, and I left my notepad at the far side. I thought I should have put my notepad and wrote the rates down. So I'm just listening, you know, and they were talking about, you know, World Cups and all that. I'm thinking, God, I can't believe this. Wish I had a tape like you've got now. But
yeah.
And he said, and they said, "You got to ask what are you doing, son?" I said, I'm going through my coaching badges. I want to be a manager. I'm trying to be a manager. But you know, it's tough, like. And Bobby Hopps said, and I tell this to everybody. He said, "Look, son, it's dead easy." And I said, "Right, go on then." Thinking, shit, I should have been no point. Didn't get it. And he says, "No, it's dead straightforward. Trust and respect."
Oh right, yes, exactly.
And I says, "What?" That's it. Trust and respect.
Interesting.
If the players don't trust you, don't respect you, you're finished. If you don't trust the players and respect them, get rid of them. No matter who you are, get rid of them. He says, if you get that in the change room will be buzzing. You'll play well. You've got to add quality onto that. But if you trust and respect me, you won't sign anybody without anybody you trust.
So they're the building blocks.
So the building blocks is the basics of football management. And I'm thinking, well, is that it? But then he got his chauffeur picked him up, took him all away. Jack went away, and I went home, and I couldn't get to sleep that night. And, you know, it sounds dramatic, but I couldn't get to sleep thinking about it. And when you look back in your life, just in life in general, it's the building blocks of life.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, when I was brought up with manners, you're brought up, you know, our age group, you always had manners. You always expect the elders. You know, respect people above you, and you always, and the people that you grow with, always people you trust. And I will always have friends back. So I've got the friends I had when I was 2 or 3 years old. Still got the friends. So it was right from that day. I took that in every change room, was it. If I didn't trust or respect them, I would gracefully get rid of them. If I did trust and respect, I'll give them everything. I'll give them everything I had. And it's the same as support. I think supporters are the same. Supporters, if they feel they can trust and respect the team, they'll give them everything. And our supporters did. They give Blythe, they give us everything they had. And you can't thank them enough for that, because that made it special. The media side, everything. And you can put it in 2 words against a lot of them. Everything, and even now, you've got all these tactics and you've got all these shape and all this stuff they're going about, and false number 9s and all this rubbish that they're going about. The building blocks is trust and respect. And if you look at Blythe now, if they brought some of that into the club now, the club would be a better place. And I don't know much about the club at the minute, but they need to get down to back to basics of what made Blythe the club it was, and that's where we are. I look from the outside, I can't see any trust, and I can't see any respect, and that's from both sides, So I think it's a reality check for everybody. Look back at what he did. It's history now. Look back on what Harry did with his team, the cup run he had, and look back on the legends of the 70s and 80s. It was all about respect and trust, and I think going forward, that's some of the stick-the players have been getting recently off all quarters, especially professional quarters, is disgusting, and that's where your trust and respect comes in. So if I can give any advice to anybody, not everybody's going to take it from me, but I think that's your building blocks of life,
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks very much, Tom, for all these chats we've had about that 14-15 run. It's been some exuberant, exciting times, some sad and reflective times, which is, again, is what life's all about, really.
Yeah, of course it is.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks very much indeed.
Brilliant.